So let's begin. The topic now is nerve supply of dura mater. My previous lecture, we were discussing about the blood supply of dura mater. Now we'll discuss about the nerve supply of dura mater. Okay. Now, let me tell you that remember in the blood supply when we're talking about dura mater, it was the outer layer having more of blood supply because of meningeal vessels, the endostelia, and the inner there was more fibers with less of blood supply and was more rigid. Got it? Now, in case of nerve supply, remember this in the cranial cavity, the nerve supply, the sensory, I'm talking about the sensory nerve supply, the pain sensation, right? The nerve supply is, mainly by the trigeminal. The entire uh, face, is the sensory supply of the entire face is by trigeminal, except at the angle of mandible and the ear lobule, and that was by greater auricular nerve. You know that. Remember the cervical nerves, the anterior lemma, the cervical nerves supply the front of the neck, and the posterior neck till the up till the external occipital protuberance behind, or sometimes reaching up a little more above till the vertex. It's by the posterior division, the posterior primary rim of the cervical nerves, and the rest of the region is by trigeminal. So that was from outside. Now talking about the cranial cavity from inside. So from inside also remember the majority of the area of the cranial cavity, the nerve supply is by trigeminal through its V1, V2, V3 divisions. Okay, and out of these three, the maximum area is by V1, that is ophthalmic division. Okay, then even in this cranial cavity, there is also nerve supply, sensory nerve supply from the cervical nerves as well. Okay, so majority, the bigger area, bigger surface area of innervation of the dura is by trigeminal, and of course it is pain sensitive. Now look here, we're talking about nerve arterial supply. We've already discussed. We're now talking about the nerve supply of dura mater. So here it's the cranial wall seen from inside. Here it's lined by the dura mater, both endosteal and meningeal layers. The nerve supply here is by V1 division, and that is ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve. Through its meningeal branches, the dura of the cranial vault and the cranial vault itself from inside is innervated by ophthalmic nerve, that is V1 division of trigeminal nerve. Akash, is it clear? My voice is clear, audible. It's audible to you and the rest of you. Am I clear? Am I audible? Everybody, tell me fast. Okay, then I'm continuing. So this is clear now. Yani ki cranial vault from inside, it is innervated by V1 division of trigeminal, the ophthalmic nerve, including the dura and the bony portion of the cranial vault, the inner tibble. Now we'll talk about the nerve supply of the cranial cavity in its floor. Right, in its floor, you know that this cranial fossa has been divided into three compartments: anterior, three fossa, anterior, middle, and posterior. And the middle one is the butterfly-shaped fossa. This is the lesser wing, the sphenoid, and this is the superior petrosal sinus, or the upper border of the petrous temporal bone. And here in between is this, the body of sphenoid with this, tuberculum cilia, and this one is dorsum cilia. So these are the margins which divide into the three cranial fossae. The nerve supply of the anterior, hold on, the nerve supply, is the screen visible to all of you? Okay, so the nerve supply of dura mater in the anterior cranial fossa here, it's by the and by mainly, V1 that I told you. And V1, what branches? Remember, just like the anterior and posterior ethmoidal arteries from the ophthalmic artery, they were entering the same course is the course of uh, ethmoidal nerves. Okay. So in the middle anterior cranial fossa, ophthalmic nerve enters into the orbit. Okay, V1. So through its nasociliary branch, it gives out this anterior and posterior ethmoidal nerves. So the anterior ethmoidal nerve, remember, it's the anterior ethmoidal nerve which enters the cranial fossa anteriorly through the cribriform palate, and it innervates the dura here. So the maximum area of the floor of the uh, anterior cranial fossa is innervated by anterior ethmoidal nerve and partly by V2 also, right? V2 is the maxillary division, and remember that was passing out through the foramen rotundum. So anterior cranial fossa V1, majority of the area that is through anterior ethmoidal nerve and partly by V2 also. Now nerve supply of the floor of the middle cranial fossa is by anterior half, anterior half is by V2, and posterior half, in the posterior half, you have this apex of the petrous temporal. You find the Gasserian ganglion, trigeminal ganglion here. So V3 supplies the posterior portion as well as the trigeminal ganglion. Why are you raising your hands? And what happens is actually this slide, the space gets occupied with those, know unnecessarily ये windows आ रही ऊपर. And how come like all the students are not there still? Okay, middle cranial fossa, half is by V2, anteriorly, posteriorly it's by V3 as well as the trigeminal ganglion. Trigeminal ganglion gives its direct meningeal branches, remember that. Apart from V1, V2, V3 divisions, it also give meningeal branches. So trigeminal ganglion directly also innervates the dura. Then posteriorly, this is the posterior cranial fossa. In its floor, the nerve supply is, this is infratentorial compartment. So that's called posterior cranial fossa. Here it is by recurrent branches, remember, from the cervical C1, 2, and 3 cervical nerves. Upper 3 cervical nerves give their recurrent meningeal branches to supply the dura mater in the posterior cranial fossa. As well as, remember, there was uh, this jugular foramen, and there was this cranial nerves emerging. So from there, this glossopharyngeal and vagus also give their meningeal branches to the posterior cranial fossa. So in the posterior cranial fossa, it is by the meningeal branches of 9th and 10th cranial nerves, as well as by the cervical nerves C1, C2, C3. Okay, I hope you understood and learned this up. So the nerve supply of the floor of the cranial cavity is written here. It's done. Now we will move to the next slide. Here you are seeing is the color coding of different segments of the dura, different portions of the dura innervated by different nerves. So you're seeing that this green color area, right? This green color coding is to differentiate the area innervated by ophthalmic division of trigeminal nerve, V1. So let's see how much the dura is innervated by V1 division. You can see here it is the floor of the anterior cranial fossa or the roof of the orbits, the falx cerebri completely, tentorium cerebelli completely on the upper surface, sella turcica, the body of the sphenoid, it's all by V1 division. Clear? अब कभी पूछ रहे हैं कि what is the nerve supply of falx cerebelli, you can write it's V1. Nerve supply of tentorium cerebelli, it is V1, and including the inner surface of the cranial vault here in the, on the inside, as well as in the floor of the anterior cranial fossa, that is all by V1. Okay, then as I told you, in the upper anterior cranial fossa, a little portion is also innervated by, you know, ये V2 है ना, red wala is the, I told you the middle cranial fossa is half divided. Middle cranial fossa anteromedially, from where rotundum passes out through this maxillary division passes through rotundum. So anteromedially in the middle cranial fossa, it is innervated by V2 or the maxillary division of the trigeminal nerve. This area number 2, red color coding. Then the dark green color coding, this area in the lateral portion of the middle cranial fossa, as well as on the sides encroaching onto the anterior cranial fossa as well, or you can say this is the lesser wing, the sphenoid and the squamous portion of the temporal bone. This area is innervated by mandibular V3 division of the trigeminal. Okay, so nerve supply of falx cerebri, you have seen. Nerve supply of tentorium cerebelli, it's V1. Nerve supply of floor of the middle cranial fossa is by V2 medially, V3 laterally. Nerve supply of the floor of the anterior fossa, mainly it's by V1, also by V3, sometimes V2 also, but mainly by V1. Now, what else you are seeing is this purple color area. This purple color area is the dura lining the infratentorial fossa, the posterior cranial fossa, right? And that is by cervical nerves, as well as meningeal branches from glossopharyngeal and vagus, and mainly by the V1, C1, C2, C3 cervical nerves through their meningeal branches. ठीक? ओहो हर्ष तिवारी, ये फालतू में फियर ऑफ वाइवा, अभी तक फियर ऑफ वाइवा बेकार की बातें बना रखी हैं. In my morning lecture, I told you that at 2 p.m. I'll be continuing with the same lecture. बहाने चाहिए बस फालतू में, स्किप करना है, लेट एंट्री हो रही है अभी तक. फियर ऑफ वाइवा मतलब ये इमेजिन पूरा साल बीत गया, एग्जाम आ गया सर पे और फियर ऑफ वाइवा चल रहा है. So this was about the nerve supply. Then you see another diagram here. This cranial cavity has been exposed. Can you see this falx cerebri, right? And the tentorium cerebelli. So you can see that these are the tentorial nerves, which are meningeal branches of ophthalmic nerve. You can see this is V1, this is trigeminal ganglion with V1, V2, V3. So V1, you can say V1 is giving its meningeal branches, right, which course back and supply the tentorial, tentorium cerebelli. जो बता रहे हैं उस पर ध्यान दो. आई एम लाइक गेटिंग इरिटेटिंग. अभी तक ये बार बार देयर आर मोर पार्टिसिपेंट्स कमिंग अप टू ज्वाइन. ऐसे ही खराब हो जाता है लेक्चर पूरा. So this diagram you're talking, right? So in this diagram, एक बार जल्दी से देख लो. V1, I told you the maximum portion of the interior of the cranial cavity, the dura mater and its folds, they are maximally dominated by V1. Ophthalmic division of trigeminal, floor of the anterior fossa, falx cerebri, falx tentorium cerebelli, and even the diaphragmus cellae and the floor of the hypophyseal fossa. Everything here, the body of sphenoid is all by V1. V2 only in the middle portion of the middle cranial fossa. Laterally in the middle cranial fossa, it is V3, the mandibular division, as well as from the direct branches from the trigeminal ganglion. Okay. Then in the infratentorial fossa, it is mainly by C1, C2, C3 cervical nerves through its meningeal branches, as well as few meningeal branches from the glossopharyngeal and vagus. They also supply the infratentorial fossa. Okay. Then here you see that this is the uh, trigeminal ganglion with its T division. This ophthalmic division gives its recurrent branch, then meningeal branch, to supply the tentorium as well as the falx cerebri. This diagram has been zoomed out here. Can you see? So there are direct branches, meningeal branches from the maxillary nerve. You can see before it is passing through the corresponding, either from ovale, the mandibular nerve, either from rotundum, the maxillary nerve, before emerging out. Rather, you can say all the three divisions, rather V1, V2, 3, before entering into their corresponding foramina. In their intracranial course, these three divisions give their meningeal branches. You've seen that even this ophthalmic division, before dividing into its three terminal branches and entering into the superior orbital fissure, it gives its meningeal branch, right? Similarly, maxillary nerve gives its meningeal branches before emerging out of the foramen rotundum. Mandibular nerve gives its meningeal branches before passing out through foramen ovale. So these are the meningeal branches you can see, and they are not only supplying the dura, but you can see this is foramen spinosum, and this is middle meningeal artery entering through the foramen spinosum, as well as, remember, from the foramen ovale there is this nerve from the foramen spinosum. Along with this meningeal artery, this nerve entering, that's called nervus spinosus, that is also meningeal branch from V3. So nervus spinosus and direct meningeal branches from mandibular division and maxillary division, they are all innervating the tunica adventitia on outside of the middle meningeal artery. So remember that the meningeal vessels, especially I'm talking is middle meningeal artery, they have a rich sensory innervation from these meningeal nerves. So the meningeal vessels, and let me tell you what are the pain sensitive structures. Dura, I told you the entire dura, even the floor, even the wall, even the folds of the dura. Every portion of the dura that has rich sensory innervation and they are pain sensitive. The meningeal vessels, the arterial wall of these meningeal vessels, you have seen here that middle meningeal artery has a rich innervation by meningeal nerves. So these are also very pain sensitive. And even the cerebral vessels, they are also pain sensitive. Take. So remember this, because later on in clinical branches you will study, headache is a big headache. There are different causes of headache that I'll tell you, I'll discuss with you, because it's all related to trigeminal nerve as well as the cervical nerves. The entire sensory area of the head and neck is by trigeminal and cervical nerves. We'll discuss about headache later on. So you got to know that these meningeal vessels are also pain sensitive. Okay. This another view is of the floor of the cranial fossa. Actually, in this area, in this right side, they have removed the tentorium cerebelli has been cut out here. So what you're seeing is in the anterior cranial fossa, it is the anterior and posterior ethmoidal nerves, V1, that supplies the floor, one thing. Rotundum is this, you can see through rotundum, this is maxillary nerve giving its meningeal branches, supplying medial half of the middle cerebral fossa, middle cranial fossa. Then this is foramen ovale, foramen spinosum, right? So from ovale also, the V3 division, mandibular nerve, And from foramen spinosum, it is nervus spinosus. These are the from branches from the V3 division, which supply the lateral portion of the middle cranial fossa, right? Then this is the tentorial nerve, right? It's a recurrent branch of ophthalmic nerve. Actually, this is tentorium cerebelli. So down below, right, from V1 division, there is a recurrent branch, meningeal branch, that's called tentorial nerve, which supplies this tentorial, tentorium cerebelli. So tentorial nerve is a recurrent meningeal branch of ophthalmic nerve, that is V1. This color code you can see is spread it here, as well as the entire cranial vault from inside. Now this you seeing is after removing the tentorium cerebelli is the floor of the posterior cranial fossa, right? Here you find is this, you know, ये anterior condylar canal हो गया, ठीक? Then this is the jugular foramen, ठीक? And this is foramen magnum, ठीक? So you find that C2, C3 fibers, they're entering into the posterior cranial fossa, the meningeal branches from these cervical nerves, they enter through foramen magnum. In my previous lecture, I was telling you about the structures passing through foramen magnum. Those are the main structures which I taught you, but you have small, other structures which include these meningeal branches from the cervical nerves. They also enter through this foramen magnum, as well as this is the anterior condylar canal or the hypoglossal canal, right? So C2, C3 fibers they enter into this um posterior fossa, and they are distributed through the hypoglossal nerve. Okay. So C2, C3 is fiber, because remember it is the ansa cervicalis, right? So anterior, so ansa cervicalis, it's this hypoglossal merges with C1, right? So through hypoglossal nerve, the cervical nerve sends the meningeal branches into the cranium through the anterior condylar canal. So C2, C3 through foramen magnum, through the anterior condylar or hypoglossal canal, and these fibers come in through the 12th cranial nerve. And this is jugular foramen. Remember, 9th, 10th, and 11th cranial nerve pass out from this. And just now I told you that in the posterior cranial fossa, there are meningeal branches from glossopharyngeal and vagus also. So C2 fibers are distributed. Actually, it is the cervical nerve supplying the meningeal branches, but they enter through these cranial nerves. So C2 fibers are distributed by cranial nerve, 10th cranial nerve, okay, to the floor of the posterior cranial fossa. In short, the nerve supply of the posterior cranial fossa is by C1, C2, C3. Okay, but remember that post C1, C1 has no posterior cutaneous branches. I told you initially when I was talking about the dermatomes, then I told you there was few dermatomes they were missing on the back, the posterior primary rami. They were not giving cutaneous branches in case of C1, right? So in case of L4, L5, S4, S5, they were not giving their posterior cutaneous branches. Okay? So inside it is through these mainly C1, C2, C3. They supply the inside of the posterior fossa. Okay, बल्कि C2, C3 are यहाँ पे actually this is some like little difference between the different authors. Um, C1, as I told you, has these anterior cutaneous branches or anterior sensory branches through the anterior primary rami, but not through, posterior cutaneous branches are not there in C1. So it might be the posterior cutaneous branches that enter here. So that's why they have mentioned C2, C3 only. Okay. But these enter through these cranial nerves, right? Either through hypoglossal or through 9th and 10th cranial nerve. Okay. Now we're talking about like clinical aspect of this nerve supply of the dura mater. is about pain sensitive intracranial structures. ठीक, तो headache होगा तो that means you'd have some pain sensitive structures in the cranial cavity. So in the cranial cavity, let me tell you, the pain sensitive structures is mainly, let you, is dura mater. One thing, dura is pain sensitive, make it clear. Then you have meningeal vessels which are pain sensitive. Then you have cerebral vessels which are pain sensitive. If you understood this, you will understand the causes of headaches. So if these three structures, exactly now, meningeal vessels, cerebral vessels, dura mater, these are the three main structures within the cranial cavity which are pain sensitive. Now, pain can be have, like, headache की बात कर रहा हूँ, तो headache can be because of several reasons arising from V1, V2, V3 divisions. Input from the face. So might be because of sinusitis, might be because of tooth extraction. Sinusitis है तो V2 के through pain आएगा. Tooth extraction है lower jaw में, तो might be mandibular division, right? Then there are sore throat, या इसे कहते हैं ये abscesses, or oral cavity related कोई भी tongue में कोई temperature related burn हो गया. So that also is through V2 division. Then refractive errors at times cause pain, then that is through V1 division. So any sort of pain, sinusitis, rhinitis, otitis externa, otitis media, all is through, the pain is received through trigeminal and its branches. But these are extracranial causes. इंट्राक्रेनियल में कॉजेज में क्या आ जाएगा? इंट्राक्रेनियल कॉजेज में क्या होगा, अभी बताया. कोई भी लेट्स से कि एन्यूरिज्म है, तो एन्यूरिज्म होगा, देयर विल बी टॉर्चुसिटी और डायलिटेशन ऑफ अ वेसल will compress upon the adjoining structure. Any mechanism which causes stretch or bulging or irritation, you can imagine, like, if irritation kab hoga, when there is stretching of the wall of the vessels or the dura, like midline shift ho jata hai. If there is a tumor, or you can say if there is any such trauma due to which falx cerebri, the midline structures, they get deviated, or subdural or epidural hematoma, right? जिसकी वजह से meninges will get irritated. So inflammation is one cause. Stretching of vessel wall is because of hypertension. Aneurysm is one cause. Intracranial causes, I'm telling you. Then there might be any abscess, infection, meningitis is another cause, or might be a tumor inside compressing the or pressing upon these vessels or the dura. So intracranial, increase intracranial pressure, right? So these are the intracranial causes due to which there can be headache. Okay.